The Great American Conference is underway, and after tonight, one team will take its first loss in conference play. Welcome to the Sawyer Center on SNUathletics.com. I'm John Hale with my partner in the booth, Zach Starn. Zach, how you doing today?
Doing good, John. How about yourself?
I'm doing magnificent, ready for some rivalry volleyball between the holy of holy universities, Southern Nazarene and Oklahoma Baptist. Just two schools that are separated by only about, let's say, 40 miles, as the Buffaloes hail from Shawnee, the Bison hail from Shawnee. The Crimson Storm right here, homegrown in Bethany. You're watching SNU Athletics, SNU Volleyball on SNUathletics.com. Oklahoma Baptist comes in having won its first two GAC matches over Southeastern Oklahoma State and Northwestern Oklahoma State. And Southern Nazarene opened the GAC season Tuesday night with a 3-1 win out Southwestern Oklahoma State. The Bison lead the all-time series 13-11, but only 10 of those wins for the Crimson Storm came before rally scoring in 2011. OBU restarted the program in 2008 and won 13 straight meetings before SNU downed OBU on senior night in the Sawyer Center last year. 4 times this series has reached 5 sets. Zach, let's talk about the Crimson Storm just for right now.
Well, I know last time, the Crimson Storm put a perfect 5-0 record in GAC home openers on the line tonight. SNU has never opened a GAC home season with the Bison. Elise Berlin stands 8th all-time in school history with 1,138 digs. She needs 16 more to catch Ellen Martin, 2009 through 2012, for 7th.
Well, Elise Berlin is having a great season and having a great young season, and the Crimson Storm put a pretty impressive home record up on the line. And this is, you're exactly right, Zach. This is a new one for SNU, opening up with their arch rival, the Bison. Crimson Storm ranks second in the conference in service aces per set at 1.8 and have 44 total on the year. Oklahoma Baptist leads the GAC in blocks at 2.38 per set and has 131 total. 3 players appear in the top 10 in the GAC in aces. Berlin leads the conference in aces per set at 0.54 and has 20 on the year. Megan Ellis is third with 19. Bailey Terang is ninth with 15. Bailey Terang also leads the GAC in kills with 164 and averages 3.1 per set. She also leads the conference in points per set at 4.26 and has 183 on the year. Callie Smith is 5th in assists per set at 9.35, while Kayla Thomas is 6th hitting percentage at .331. 5 of the last 7 matches, Smith has doled at least 40 assists. She had 38 Tuesday against Southwestern Oklahoma State over there in Weatherford. So the GAC has just started. Zach, go ahead and update us on our standings for the GAC.
On the GAC, well, Arkansas Tech is 2-0, which is 15-0 overall. Win streak 15, so they've won 15 straight. Arkansas Tech is 2-0. Overall standing, well, they did 9-4. They have 9-4 with the win streak of 1. Oklahoma Baptist 2-0, 7-7, winner 2. Southern Nazarene is 1-0 in the GAC. Harding 1-1 in the GAC. Northwestern Oklahoma State 1-1 GAC. Henderson State 1-1 GAC. Southwestern Oklahoma State 1-1 in GAC. Southeastern Oklahoma State 0-1 in GAC. Arkansas Monticello 0-2 in GAC. Southern Arkansas 0-2 in GAC. East Central 0-2 in GAC.
So there's still a lot of volleyball to be played, Zach, as Ouachita and Arkansas Tech, 2 Arkansas teams, top the board, each with undefeated records. As for SNU, only recording only one win so far in the GAC, but there's a lot at stake tonight. Now, as for the rest of the GAC going around, I do believe that about 50 minutes ago, Arkansas Monticello started off a match against Harding in Searcy, and Southern Arkansas is playing in Arkadelphia against Henderson State right now. Starting about 20 minutes ago, Arkansas Tech is playing at Ouachita Baptist across the street from Henderson. Southwestern Oklahoma State and Northwestern Oklahoma State are in a battle right now over there in Alva. And East Central is playing at Southeastern Oklahoma State as one of those two teams will record their first win. We are just about 10 minutes away from the opening serve. So we'll take a break right now on SNUathletics.com. Stay right here. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. We are just about set for our match between the Crimson Storm and the OBU Bison here in the Sawyer Center. Now we're going to go to our starting lineups for tonight, starting with the OBU Bison.
The number of starters for tonight for the OBU Bison will be number 3, Michaela Watson, number 4, Mela Leatherland, number 5, Hayden Blair, number 6, Nicole Flightman, number 16, Sophia Cowton, number 17, Caden Lang, number 20, Suzanne Figueredo.
And now the starting lineup for your Southern Nazarene University Crimson Storm. Starting number 3, McKenna Hunter. Number 4, Hannah Davis. Number 6, Bailey Terang. Number 8, Megan Ellis. Number 17, Kylie Smith. Number 18, Kayla Thomas. And coming into the libero position, number 1, Elise Berlin. The OBU Bison are being coached tonight by Anna Howell, and the Crimson Storm tonight are being coached by Kevin Ingram. Just about set for some great volleyball action and a series that's known to go to 5 sets. Will we have another classic in this awesome rivalry that spans decades? Or will we have a swift end on the first meeting of the two between these two rivals?
Let's hope it's a classic.
We're about to find out right here, right now in the Sawyer Center. The Weathermen, the student section for the Crimson Storm, are sporting their Beat OBU t-shirts today. Very proudly behind that OBU starting 7. And you can expect them to be loud today. In fact, the junior varsity volleyball team had a game earlier today, which OBU won, but OBU's JV coach made a point of complimenting the Storm Chasers. And here we're off. Hannah Davis first to attack for the Crimson Storm. Figueredo will give the set.
Oh.
And unable to get it off the floor is Berlin, and OBU strikes first.
Good dig. You didn't get there. It was a good dig, though. Good effort by Berlin.
Hayden Blair is the first to serve for tonight. Berlin gets to it. Set up by Smith. Hunter. They're unable to get there as it goes on the wrong end of the net as it goes under it. Crimson Storm tie up the game.
A little quick set, a little quick kill there.
Now quickly in for the Crimson Storm, number 18, Kayla Thomas. Now the OBU come on back. That was number 6 for the Bison, Nicole Flightman.
Nobody home there, nobody home.
Nothing too fancy for Flightman, just kind of put it in the vacant spot on the court. Berlin with the set. Here comes Smith. And Hannah Davis is going to get the kill off the attempted block, and no Bison were there along the whole net to get to it. And we're already going back and forth in this very early rivalry game. First of the year between of the schools in any sport.
Tied 2-2.
Blocked at the net, but that one's going the opposite way. Very similar to the last play with OBU. Now OBU puts another one on the board, goes up 3-2. Here comes Suzanne Figueiredo. She's a junior out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And that one's dug up. A powerful strike from Bailey Terang, blocked at the net by Thomas, and I believe that's Smith, and it is. Megan Ellis with the dig, and Ellis comes right back. And that's going to be a violation, a double touch on OBU. Crimson Storm tie it back up again. We're going back and forth.
It is. Great game so far, 3-3.
Megan Ellis, a freshman hailing from my neck of the woods in the Panhandle of Texas, just 20 miles away from my hometown in the small town of Hereford, Texas. Already making a big impact for the SNU Crimson Storm. And now we're going back and forth, trying to find a vacant spot as the Crimson Storm. They can't quite find it. That one goes by Hannah Davis onto the inside of that Crimson line. Point Bison.
Close call, close call.
Davis with the dig. Thomas with a powerful strike into the stands. Kayla Thomas, another freshman out of New Braunfels, Texas, the exact opposite end of the spectrum.
Boy, she's bringing them in hot, isn't she?
Well, she's made an impact herself as filling in for the injured Michaela Benner, who may or may not participate this year as Thomas's serve goes into the net. But Michaela Benner, a big part in that game, in that GAC champion team. And now here comes OBU, so Thomas will fill in for Benner. Smith trying to get past, can't quite get it as they just get it out. Get over the net, give the Crimson Storm a free ball. Terang.
Oh.
They're able to get it. That's Ellis with a dig. Terang again.
Good volley here.
Just a little dump off, dug up. Smith finds the middle of the court. Nobody home. Kylie Smith mastering that little dump off.
Just kind of threw him off guard there, didn't she, John?
Yes, she did. Abby Bell, the big-time libero for the Crimson Storm a year ago, kind of teaching Kylie Smith a thing or two, as Kylie Smith was a freshman last year. Berlin digging it up. Terang. Not enough power to get it over the net. And the Bison take a 6-5 lead. We're going back and forth. This one may go on for a while. As a sub comes in, it's going to be number 6, Nicole Flightman, who re-enters the game. And Berlin with a great effort to get it back. OBU's just going to get a free ball, and they give it right back to SNU, who try to fire a quick one. Don't quite get there. Dug up by Ellis. Smith. Terang. Going way back. Will they be able to get it? Looks like they will. Crimson Storm set up again. Smith. And a great volley right here for both teams. Megan Ellis gets it back over on a broken play. Berlin. Smith. Ellis. Outside. Point OBU. And that's the first point. That's the first separation they've had from the Crimson Storm. More than a point.
Right.
Impressive volley.
A real impressive volley. Another good volley, which makes it, 5-7 now.
Smith sets up. Terang at the net. Gets it back over. Smith. Davis. Kind of a shallow dig. Back to Berlin. Davis again. Blocked right back in the Crimson Storm's face. And the Bison are starting to get a little bit of separation, up 8-5. Serving the last few sets is number 15 off the bench, Brecken Rockmore, as Kevin Ingram's going to take a timeout, and we'll step alongside as well. We'll be right back on SNUathletics.com. Don't go anywhere. This is a fun one. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. It's Rockmore And that one's going to fly straight out. She had a pretty impressive run coming from, I believe, a 5-4 deficit for OBU and turned it into 8-5 lead, cut down to 6-8 for the Crimson Storm. It's going to be Terang with that big windup.
She does have that unorthodox serve, doesn't she?
And the OBU Bison kind of lost track of where it was going. SNU is going to get the point.
Terang, here she comes with her unorthodox serve again, but it sure does work for her.
And that one finds the corner. Nobody home for the Crimson Storm. I mean, not much you can do about that one, as that was quite a big windup of her own for the Bison. It's going to be number 5, Hayden Blair, now serving for the Crimson Storm. For the Bison.
Another very close call.
McKenna Hunter just trying to tip it over, nothing doing. Smith, Berlin, Ellis on the outside. And they're just barely going to get that one over. Crimson Storm with a free ball. Davis gets the floor.
Well, Davis has been having some good attacks at the net, huh?
Oh, Hannah Davis doesn't have that big of a jumping ability, but she does have that power, so she doesn't go straight up to the net, but just a little bit back, and she's able to get those attacks to fall.
Yeah, she is.
Crimson Storm here with a free ball. Berlin. Davis again from way back there. Nothing doing that time. Smith tried to dig something up and couldn't quite do it. Caught her fingertips. Crimson Storm trying to bite in as OBU's maintaining a slim 2-point lead in the first set. A really big windup of her own. Smith. Ellis on the outside. Megan Ellis.
A little outside.
Couldn't quite find that short corner.
Brings it to a 3-point lead for Oklahoma Baptist.
Couldn't quite find that near side corner to the net. Here comes Thomas.
Oh.
Great big dig.
Yeah.
That one is off the hand of a Crimson Storm player. Another point for the OBU Bison, now up 4. Smith just gets the little dump.
Oh.
Can't quite get to it that time as Figueroa couldn't quite get to that one to another player. Crimson Storm now with a chance to buy into this lead. This is where the Crimson Storm have been struggling. Can't quite put some runs together.
Right. They need to.
Another block. That's Thomas. And I believe Terang, they get another one. Off of it, that's number 8, Megan Ellis, who just came in to finish the job that at Smith and Thomas started. Davis back to serve.
Well, she serves from way back there, doesn't she?
And a block at the net again. How about another one? They get it off. It's another 4-touch. Here come the Crimson Storm, only down by 1 again.
We're coming back. A 1-point deficit.
This one's high, finds inside. Here come the Bison. And just a little soft attack there caught the Crimson Storm off guard, who have gotten a couple of blocks go their way. And Berlin just couldn't quite get there in time. So they'll maintain a 2-point lead with Figueroa, the libero, going back to serve. Thomas, a little bit of a dump. Berlin gets this one. Smith, Davis goes straight into the net.
That's going to bring it to a 3-point deficit. It's not where they want to be. They brought it up. That was back down, but A lot of game left to play.
And that serve is going to go into the net, so SNU get a break from the OBU service. It's going to be Ellis sporting the pink headband. And this one's way back into the bench. Almost ran over a staff member for the OBU coaching staff.
She couldn't quite get to that one. She tried.
Spin at that serve had a lot of spin on it.
Back to a 1-point deficit.
Crimson Storm looking for the first tie in a while. Smith, Terang, just outside. And they're going to give it to the Crimson Storm off of a tip.
Off of fingertips of one of the players of OBU.
Couldn't quite see who it was from up here.
Yeah, we don't have the greatest view, do we?
Well, we have a pretty good view up here on the track level of Sawyer Center, but I'll tell you something. Those refs down there, they have a better view than we do.
They do. They have the best view, which is good.
Crimson Storm kind of get a lucky break. And a free ball here. Smith, Terang, get it to go. The Crimson Storm take their first lead.
It's a new leader, Crimson Storm, 15-14.
It's the Crimson Storm's first lead of the set and therefore the game. See if they can hang on to it, and they can't for now as it sails out. Megan Ellis going on a pretty good run there.
That's tied up, 15-15. We've seen a few of these in this set.
And that one sails out as that dig went a little bit too far for Smith to handle. Tried to make something out of nothing, gives the lead back to OBU. Davis, back to Terang. They get it to dig. A little bit of a dump. Ellis. Davis, Smith, Terang. Off the fingertips. And they're going to call it out.
They're going to call it out.
But the head, a little bit of confusion there for the officials. They're going to award that point to the Bison, as he initially pointed to the Crimson Storm, but
thinking it was off the fingertips. I think he was asking her.
Thomas that time will not be denied. Thomas got that set right where she wanted it, just in front of the net and on the attack. Thomas getting some serious airtime close by the net. Only down by 1 point again. And now it's Thomas back to serve. Thomas with a big dig, just pushes it back to OBU's side. And that one goes straight off the front of the net. And we're tied back up.
That set wasn't quite high enough, was it, John?
Not quite. And it's going to be a timeout taken by OBU's coach Anna Howe. Wants to talk things over. Now it's the first one to 8 here on SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to the Sawyer Center. Tied at 17 in the first set. And what has already been a pretty fun one here in the Sawyer Center. OBU trying to set up something. Megan Ellis with a big dig. Smith able to get it. They're just going to push this one over and into the net. Davis got a little bit under that one.
Tough break.
Berlin, Smith, Terang. Got it off the fingertips, tied back up at 18. The interesting thing about this first set is wondering whether or not it'll just be to 25 or how long we're going to have to play this one.
Yeah, going tied up and back and forth.
Smith, Hunter, on the back corner, McKenna Hunter.
With the kill.
McKenna Hunter had herself a big game against the SWASU Bulldogs on Tuesday. She recorded 10 kills.
I think they've had a little bit more time to practice since the last time we broadcasted at home.
Now the SNU Crimson Storm got a little bit of separation as they are now up 20 to 18. And Anna Howe's taking another timeout. She wants to discuss things with her team as we go we will stay right here and look over some stats for you guys. We gotta bring up our stats right here, so stay with us for just one moment. Going to our stats right here. Leading the way for the Crimson Storm in terms of kills is Bailey Terang with 4. On the other end, leading the way for kills for the OBU Bison is Lang. So it's been back and forth going over some team stats right here. Crimson Storm have recorded 12 kills as opposed to Oklahoma Baptist's 8. However, SNU has balanced that out by having 3 more attack errors than OBU, 8-5. Crimson Storm are hitting just 10% on the dot, and OBU's hitting just over 8%. So not a great hitting day for either team as we're back to the action. As that one, Megan Ellis just got the wrong end of it and hit the camera. There goes the camera on the end. I don't know if I think that camera is actually Oklahoma Baptist's or it's one of the teams.
Somebody had it set up, didn't they?
Megan Ellis with a dig. Terang, nothing doing that time. Free ball and a miscommunication by the Crimson Storm, and now we're tied back up at 20. First one to 5 now in this first set.
20 to 20. We've seen a lot of ties in this set.
Davis to Smith. And that's Bailey Terang, who will not be denied. The sophomore out of Corona, California, has really made her presence felt in these last 2 years, coming in, playing a big role in that GAC championship team from last year, kind of taking on the leadership role here.
Oh.
Almost with an error there. Smith to Ellis. Not that time. And they'll just give this one a free ball. Terang, Smith, Davis. Blocked off. And a point for the Bison. Tie back up at 21.
21-21. Well, it's a close one. Back and forth, back and forth.
Serving for the Bison is Hayden Blair. And the Crimson Storm faithful are doing everything in their power to get into the head of the Bison, but the Bison hear nothing of it. And they take their first lead in a while. 22 to 21. Now Kevin Ingram wants to have a talk. And this time we will step aside here on Crimson Storm at SNU Athletics SouthernNazArene.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. OBU leads the Crimson Storm 21 to 22 here in this first set. Megan Ellis back to Smith. Davis is blocked at the net, and they're going to find the empty space where Terang isn't, and now OBU can smell a first set victory, up 23 to 21.
2-point deficit. They need 2 points.
2 points to win and 2 points ahead.
If SNU is going to do something, they need to do it now.
Davis almost found the back corner. Smith, Terang, Ellis, dug up. Blocked at the net. That one finds the side. And now the Bison have set point. 3-point lead, which is as much as separation as these two teams have had.
Which is, yeah, that's amazing. It's been close all game. Back and forth, tied.
Ellis, Smith. Ellis again. That's blocked, and that's how the first set will end. And so the Bison win a very highly contested first set. And like I said, that's just set number 1, ladies and gentlemen. We got at least 2 more to go. Keep it right here on SNUathletics.com. We ain't done just yet. Welcome back to the Sawyer Center on SNUathletics.com. We just got done with a pretty impressive first set that was taken over by a pretty ferocious last 5 points for the OBU Bison, who end up taking set 1, 25-21. Crimson Storm also started out slow against the SWOSU Bulldogs on Tuesday. However, they came back to win that one after winning 3 sets in a row after the first. So anything can happen here in the Sawyer Center.
Right, and they kept it pretty close in the first one. So it's, two great teams out there, and they're playing their hearts out.
OBU and the Crimson Storm have the same winning percentages in both overall and conference. Both undefeated so far in conference, with OBU winning 1 more game than the Crimson Storm. However, they've played 2 more games than the Crimson Storm, and they both have 500 records. It's going to be Bailey Terang starting us off for the second set, who sends it into the scores table right by our man David Knoblet, who's got the stats computer.
I bet he didn't like that, hitting his computer.
Oh, no. Here, he's our man behind the scenes, and he is not a fan of when his equipment is put into danger, and that serve goes out of bounds, and the Crimson Storm faithful are not happy about that. They thought that hit the line straight on.
They sure aren't.
However, the referee rules it OBU's point. We're tied back up. Smith, McKenna Hunter is blocked. Now OBU takes the lead.
By 1. 2-1, OBU. 1 point deficit.
Smith. Ellis just dumps it right over the blockers, but it's dug up. Blocked at the net. And that's a point for the OBU Bison as the Crimson Storm get a net violation.
Oh. Tough break.
That one goes into the net. And the Crimson Storm, Storm Chasers, and Weathermen will take credit for that one as they were getting pretty loud.
Bring it back to a 1 point deficit, 3-2, OBU winning.
That one's dug up by Berlin. Smith, Davis. And here come the Bison. And that one's just easy pickings for number 6, Nicole Flightman. Easy pickings at the net. They retake a 2-point lead, leading the Crimson Storm 4-2. Berlin to Smith. Ellis
with the kill.
Just a little bit of a dump off. Here comes Berlin. Back to Ellis. The OBU are just digging up everything. Berlin. Smith. Thomas. Davis pushes it over. OBU having a pretty impressive rally. Nothing getting by them. Smith. Davis blocked at the net.
Looked like they were looking to see if OBU touched the net right there. I guess they didn't. Point for OBU, 3-point deficit. OBU winning 5-2.
Thomas on the attack, can't quite get it to go. And now OBU enforcing their will on this second set. Up 4 now. And there's that timeout by Kevin Ingram. Kevin Ingram won't let a team get too far ahead before he calls timeout. We'll step aside with him here on SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. It's going to be Figueiredo to serve for the Bison. Bailey Terang. Davis just going to push that one over. Easy for the Bison to pick up and make a play out of, and Terang just can't pick that one up, and now the Crimson Storm are really on their heels here in the second set.
Down by 5.
Smith. Davis will not be denied. Lays down a hard one.
That one was coming in hot. She tried to block it, but it came straight down off her hands. Gave SNU the point. Down by 4.
Dug up. Smith. Terang. Dug up. Here comes Berlin. Back to Smith. Thomas. Just out of the reach of Ellis, who Thomas just trying to make it go back up. Crimson Storm down by 5. Smith. Here come the Bison again. That one's going to be credited to number 4, Malia Leatherland. Crimson Storm now down 6 points to the Bison here in the second set. That one goes off the hands of Terang. Not having the best second set performance on, thanks to the miracle of Facebook. Just found out that it's her birthday today.
Is it?
It is. Happy birthday, Bailey Terang.
Bailey Terang.
That one's flying out. She finds that keen eye. Crimson Storm finally get a much-needed point. Now the Crimson Storm got to dig out of a 6-point, 10-4 lead.
Let's see what they can do here.
As Ellis just kind of gets a... That one's nothing doing. That one's going to be a 4-touch for OBU. Just couldn't quite find the handle.
Well, that brought them 1 point closer. 5-point deficit, 10-5 OBU.
Megan Ellis with the serve. Bounce blocked at the net, and Hannah Davis nowhere to be found behind the blockers. It's going to be Leatherland again, back to serve. A really solid serve. Thomas.
Good
Berlin. Back to Terang. It took a little bit of time to decide what the call was on the side judges, but they call it out. Point Crimson Storm.
It was a good call. Up here it looked like it was out. They have the best view, you're right. Who knows? They have a hard job down there.
The Crimson Storm, just when it seems that they got a run started, OBU's coming back with another solid hit. Ellis to Smith to Terang. And that one's flying out just beyond that line. And Bailey Terang just can't quite find the handle yet.
Well, that was very close.
She had the exact setup she wanted. Smith just trying to force the issue. Ellis with a good dig. Davis blocked at the net all by herself as number 6, Flightman. And another timeout taken by Kevin Ingram. We'll be right back to SNUathletics.com, where the Bison are taking a commanding 8-point lead. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. The OBU Bison hold a 8-point lead over the Crimson Storm. Smith to Terang. It's blocked up, but they're able to get it going. Hannah Davis just flinging it over. Free ball for the Bison, and it's dug up by the Crimson Storm. Now the Bison can set something back up. Berlin with another dig. Terang. Here come the Bison again. A little dump off, dug up. Smith. Davis just kind of pushes it over. Free ball for the Bison. Another big dig. Here comes Smith again. Davis. Dug up again. Back to Ellis. Terang. And a big rally right here. Davis gets it up. McKenna Hunter sends it back. Here come the Bison again. Dug up by Ellis. Davis setting back up for the Bison. Blocked, and right back we're off to another one.
Good volley.
Terang finds the floor, and the Sawyer Center erupts. After a long volley, the Crimson Storm, led by Bailey Terang, finally find the floor.
Well, the Sawyer Center sure likes that.
This place just exploded after that point. However, the Crimson Storm still find themselves on the wrong end of a 14-7 set. So they got a lot of ground to make up.
Let's see if they can get themselves a rally going together here.
And that one finds the floor, so that kind of morale booster of a rally is shot down pretty darn quick by the Bison. They retake an 8-point lead. It's going to be Hayden Blair. Smith. Terang fires it outside.
Find themselves in a 9-point deficit now. SNU needs to get something going. They're going to do something.
And that one's McKenna Hunter, who just after the quick exchange between teams at the net, able to find the back corner. Down 8-16 now. Now here come the Bison. Berlin digs up Smith. Over to Ellis, and they're going to get a double hit on the Crimson Storm. That one finds the net, and now we're back to an 8-point game. So McKenna Hunter will check out and bring Thomas back in. Berlin to serve. Berlin's serves are interesting because they just kind of die after a serve, but it's not phasing the Bison at all as they get it quite back over and to a point with not much problems. Bringing that back into Sophia Cauto. Berlin. Crimson Storm just going to have to send that one over. And the Crimson Storm are just out of sorts right now as they find themselves down 10.
They
That's
look a
Figueredo
they
to serve.
Look a little frustrated. They need to get it together if they're going to get something going.
That one is going to go to the Crimson Storm for a point. Hannah Davis to serve. Berlin with the dig. Smith. That's Megan Ellis who had her attack dug up.
Good
Smith. Davis. Easy ball for the Bison. Back to Davis. Smith tries to dump it. Smith, Thomas. Nothing doing that time. Crimson Storm score another one.
They do, which brings it down to an 8-point deficit. They're trying to do something here in the second set, aren't they, John?
Well, they got a long ways to go, but if the rally's going to be started, it's a good place to start.
It sure is.
Smith to Ellis, just dumps it off, finds the corner. At least I thought it was the corner.
It looked like the corner from here, but the line judge calls it out.
And Hannah Davis is going to challenge that. And nothing doing that time.
Brings it to a 9-point deficit. Oklahoma Baptist serve.
Smith to Thomas. Almost out of the reach. They're just going to have to get this one over. Smith sends it back to Thomas and back into the net. Now back to a 10-point lead for the Bison. Seems like just everything that could go wrong for the Crimson Storm in the second set has gone wrong with a few bad spots.
Sure has. This is not where they wanted to find themselves.
And they are just continue to fire outside. Can't quite find the line is what they're aiming for. Smith to Ellis. Dug up by Figueroa. Blocked at the net, and it goes out of bounds. Once again, one of those unlucky breaks for the Crimson Storm.
Yeah, 'cause it was a good block. They had a wall up there, but the ball didn't bounce their way. 23-11 the score. Oklahoma Baptist up.
And that one flies out. Keen eye by Elise Berlin. It's going to be Megan Ellis to serve. Megan Ellis gets the dig as well. Smith to Terang. Figueroa putting in the work today. Smith to Ellis, flies out. And now it's set point.
24-12.
Set point for the Bison.
This is not where they want to be.
Goes into the net. Crimson Storm will get a reprieve, at least for right now.
Gives them a break that they much needed. They needed very, very much.
Kayla Thomas back to serve. Down 11. Blocked at the net, and the Crimson Storm at another point. They're only down by 10 now.
All right. Let's see if they can rally.
It'd be one of the most improbable things I've seen up here in the booth, but it's not quite over in the second set here.
Not quite.
Stranger things have happened.
Yes, they have, John. Yes, they have.
Dug up by the Crimson Storm. Here comes Smith. Hunter. Very keen eye by the Bison. Davis. Smith. Terang. And it flies out, and that's how the second set will end. Bison win the second set by a score 25-14. And now a very frustrated Crimson Storm team is going to go have a chat in the locker room when we come back to SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Crimson Storm had a set where everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and now they find themselves down 2-0 to their arch rival, the OBU Bison. So the Bison just 25 points away from walking out of Bethany with a win. Crimson Storm looking to try and mount a comeback here. It all starts with set 3. And it's going to be Blair back to serve to start. Smith, Hunter, flies out. And that head referee is just not hearing the Crimson Storm's pleas for a finger touch. Smith, Ellis. That one found the line. She's been looking for it all night. Finally finds it, ties it up, one apiece. Dug up by Smith. Now to Berlin. Ellis pushes it over. And that's going to be a point for the Crimson Storm after a double touch by the Bison. Elise Berlin back to serve.
That's the lead for SNU, 2-1. Second lead of the
Blocked
game.
at the net. Here come the Crimson Storm with something to set up. Berlin back to Ellis. Somehow the Bison got that one back over. Davis just gives it a little dump. Now the Bison able to set something up. Smith. Ellis just got a little dump. She found it. She found that little space right by the net. No one's home. Crimson Storm take a 3-1 lead in the third set.
She did. She found the spot.
Blocked by Brown. Or excuse me, that's Thomas. Excuse me, that was Kayla Thomas.
4-1. Crimson Storm. Up by 3. I believe this is their. Is this their biggest lead?
This would be SNU's, I believe, fourth biggest. Now it's the biggest lead of the game as
5-1.
As an attack by the Bison flies out. The Crimson Storm have a 4-point lead to start out the third set. Just the start that Kevin Ingram needed. Elise Berlin is still the server. Thomas again, and they're finally going to award the point to the Bison after head referee wasn't sure if it was touched by a Bison member or not, but they're going to award the 4-touch rule to the Bison. And now the Bison coming back. Smith to Ellis, who finds the line. That the side judge right on it. Calls it in. Crimson Storm maintain a 4-point lead in the third set. It's Hannah Davis now to serve. Davis sets it up. Smith just tries to dump it off. Can't quite get to it. Davis sends it back, and just easy pickings right there at the net for Fleitman. It's going to be Figueiredo back to serve. And that one flies out, and Bailey Terang thought she might have made a mistake, but flies just out of reach. She can have a good laugh about that as the Crimson Storm maintain a 4-point lead. Now it's going to be Ellis to serve. And Ellis' serve goes straight into the net. Smith back to Thomas. A little bit of a collision in the back row. As Berlin takes it. Terang got it over the net, found the side after it kind of bounced off the net a little bit. She finally finds that line that she's been searching for all night. So Kayla Thomas
gives a 4-point deficit, 8-4, Crimson Storm.
That one flies out, make it a 5-point lead for the Crimson Storm. This is the best start for the Southern Nazarene girls all night.
Yep. They need to keep this up if they're willing to win this game.
Thomas back to serve once again. Ellis couldn't quite get their hands low enough. OBU scores another point, reduces it back to a 4-point lead. Ellis gets it to Smith, and Davis just going to push it over. Free ball for the Bison. Blocked at the net. And after a valiant attempt to try and get it up, Bailey Terang knocks it out of play. Another point for the Bison. It's going to be number 4, Malia Leatherland. who will be the server. Just kind of grazes the net. That's Hunter. Because Hunter has, as the lanky figure as she appears, she's got some big muscles in those arms. Pushes it past the wall of Bison.
Back to a 4-point deficit. SNU in the lead, 10-6.
Davis now the server. After a mistimed jump by the Crimson Storm, Ellis is unable to dig it back up, and the Bison are answering point for point now. Ellis gives it to Smith. Terang just couldn't quite get the power on it. Blocked at the net. That's Terang and Hunter. 11-7 is now the score for the Crimson Storm, and still in the lead. Terang with that big windup. It flies out. Good communication by the Bison.
Tough break.
Berlin to Smith. Ellis with a little bit of a dump off. They're going to get a foul on the Bison and award a point to the Crimson Storm.
This brings it back to a 4-point deficit, 12-8. Crimson Storm over the Bison.
A little bit of an intermission while they wipe up the sweat off the court. And here we go again. And a big strike that time by Blair. Or excuse me, that was not Blair, that was Flightman. Flightman pulling out the big guns to push it past and onto the other side of the court. Smith to Thomas. Gets it past the blockers. Thomas gets another kill. Crimson Storm fighting for their lives here in the third set, trying to avoid the sweep and mount a comeback.
Keeping this lead by 3 and 4.
Davis with a high serve. They're just going to let that one fly out. Crimson Storm get another one. Now up by 5.
No. Make that 5. That's right. Crimson Storm with the serve. Oh, into the net. Tough break for the Storm.
That was Davis trying to get another one of those slow serves to catch the Bison off guard. However, he can't quite get over the net. Berlin. Ellis gets the dump and a great dig by Blair. And Terang tried to get a dig of her own, couldn't quite get there as it goes the opposite direction as needed.
(14-11) the score now. Crimson Storm up.
Ellis almost got it by the blockers, able to be set up. Another big dig. Free ball for the Bison as the SMU Crimson Storm able to keep it alive. Blocked at the net, and it flies out as her teammates told Bailey Terang to get out of the way. 10 points away for a set victory for the Crimson Storm. Still a long ways to go. It's here in set 3. It's Megan Ellis to serve. Davis awaits the easy dig. Thomas just tried to push it. And they're going to award the point after Thomas tried to block it and get it back over. They just called the double on her.
I guess they didn't see it as a block as she thought it was.
Thomas again. A little bit of miscommunication by Terang, as wasn't in the right place at the right time. Now the lead for the Crimson Storm is only 2, and Kevin Ingram is going to take a timeout before they can catch up anymore. We'll take a quick break as well here on SMUathletics.com. Welcome back to SMUathletics.com. It's Calto to serve. Set up. Here comes Terang, blocked at the net. Crimson Storm able to get it up, and Thomas keeps it alive. And so we'll continue with this point. Terang. Megan Ellis digs it up. And a miscommunication between Thomas and between Thomas and Smith is what's going to bring OBU back to a 1-point deficit.
This is not where SNU wanted to find themselves. See if they can work themselves out of this.
SNU still maintains the lead, 15-14. But they were ahead by as much as 5. Thomas flies out. And now we're tied at 15. Now it's the first one to 10. Crimson Storm trying to ward off a sweep. OBU trying to get out of Bethany as fast as possible. Davis sets it up. Smith. Terang. Back to Berlin. Thomas. Not getting a whole lot of power between them. That's going to be a foul on the Crimson Storm. OBU takes their first lead of the set. Now the Crimson Storm faithful getting rather loud. Terang. They have just had Bailey Terang's number as she is unable to find the spot. They now take a 15-17 lead. OBU flexing its muscles, trying to pick up the sweep against their arch rivals.
As SNU's had the lead the whole time.
Davis just going to push this one over. And another point awarded to the Bison after a net violation by Thomas. And a timeout taken by Kevin Ingram as SNU now in a dire situation here in the Sawyer Center. We'll be right back to SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Crimson Storm started out the third set rather strong, but now they find themselves in a rather dire situation as they are down 18-15 in the third set, trying to avoid the sweep. Terang finally gets it down. Bites into this OBU lead.
As Figueredo tries to dig it.
It's going to be Thomas. Thomas gets a dig. Smith back to Terang. Gets a little bit of a dump. And a little free ball for the Crimson Storm. Smith, Hunter. Dug up by the back row. Back to Terang. Now we got another long rally going. Smith back to Terang again. Crimson Storm really trying to work through Terang. Blocked, and the Crimson Storm will finally get that point. Bring it back down to a 17-18 lead for the Bison. Crimson Storm needing that timeout by Kevin Ingram. They're not going to give up just yet.
No, they're not, John. They're down by one. They need this set and two more. They can do it. Let's see if they can get it.
Thomas with the serve. LOBU will try to set something up. Bailey Terang coming right back at it. Off the hands, we're tied up at 18.
18-18, just like that.
Trying to really work through their best outside hitter, which is Bailey Terang, even though she struggled tonight. Thomas still back to serve. Ellis trying to get a good dig, and Terang tried to help her out. Unable to get there.
Bounced off the head of a spectator.
And at the net, that was Smith who took a wild dig from Ellis and just pushed it over. OBU couldn't quite handle the attempted block. Back down to a 19 apiece game, 19 apiece set. OBU really trying to wipe up all that sweat from diving around. They've really been impressive digging up SNU's attacks today. Smith back to serve. Berlin to Terang. Off the hands, dug up. And Ellis can't quite get low enough. Here come the subs as Figueredo comes out, as well as Calto. It's going to be Rockmore off the bench coming to serve. Ellis, Smith, Terang, dug up. Smith again to Ellis, who just kind of pushes it over real soft like, trying to catch the Bison off guard. And she misses an attempt. Davis, Smith, Hunter, out of the reach. Now it's the first one to 5, 20-20 here in the third set.
Hit David's computer again.
David Knoblett's computer. That's the last thing we want getting broken today because that's what's feeding us our stats right now. That was Bailey Terang with the serve. Off of release Berlin's attempted dig. Another point for the OBU Bison. If you'll remember, this was a similar situation in the first set. This is where OBU kind of flexed its muscles. So Crimson Storm are really going to have to play well to escape the third set with the game still continuing. Berlin, Smith, Ellis blocked. And Terang can't quite get there in time. Now down 2. Bison trying to end this. In my humble opinion, I don't think the Crimson Storm can allow going down 3 points. Berlin, Smith, Ellis. Sends it back. That's Ellis at the net. Or excuse me, that was McKenna Hunter at the net. Excuse me. Kind of blocked my vision was that lead official.
Back down to a 1-point deficit.
Berlin to serve. That one flies out. We're tied at 22.
22-22. This does remind me of the first set. Back and forth, back and forth.
SNU playing for its life. And Anna Howe's going to take a break, going to take a breather, calls a timeout. We'll take one with her here on SNUathletics.com. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Got a tight third set. 3 points is all that separates a win for the Bison or a continued game in the Sawyer Center. And that time, Pally Smith just can't quite get to it. OBU takes a 23-22 lead.
And gets the serve.
Back to serve is number 3, Watson. Berlin to Smith. Thomas blocked at the net, and now it's match point for the Bison. Big point for the Crimson Storm here. 1 point separates the Crimson Storm from a sweep or a continued game. Smith. Ellis flies out, and that's how the game will end. The Crimson Storm gets swept inside the Sawyer Center by the OBU Bison after a highly contested first and third sets. OBU just had a little bit more tank in the gas, or excuse me, gas in the tank, excuse me.
Yeah, they did.
So Crimson Storm, obviously not the best night, as OBU will take a much better ride to Shawnee than they were hoping. So they will head home with the win. This time we'll go over some final stats and wrap up our broadcast here on SNUathletics.com. Leading the way for the Bison in this game was number 6, Flightman, who ended up with 12 points, 8 kills, 1 dig. Hayden Blair added to her total with 24 assists, 9 digs, 1 kill. And seeing here, Caden Lang came up big with 14 digs, 8 kills, and 10.5 points. On the other side for the Crimson Storm, Hannah Davis, not a great night, hitting negative .115 hitting percentage. 13 digs, though, 4 kills, 4 points. Leading the way for the Crimson Storm was Bailey Terang, who had in regards, a particularly subpar day today. 8 kills, 9.5 points, hitting just under or just over 5%. Best hitting percentage did come from McKenna Hunter, who connected on a third of her attempts. She ended up with 6 kills, 7.5 points. Looking at the team stats right here, the kills went into Oklahoma Baptist's favor, 36-31. Attacking errors, Southern Nazarene doubled Oklahoma Baptist's attack errors, 31-14. So, Zach, any final thoughts on the game today?
Well, definitely on the attack errors. Whenever they were attacking the net, they needed to definitely make sure when they blocked to keep it in, or to make sure that they could get it back into their own players, and that whenever the SNU Storm making kills, they were sometimes hitting it out and just killing themselves.
I'll agree with you, Zach. I mean, after that first set went the way of the Bison, it just seemed that like a lot of steam was just taken out of the SNU train, and they just couldn't recover. That second set really hurt, as really nothing went right for the Crimson Storm. So That'll about do it for us here inside the Sawyer Center. For Zach Starnes and the rest of our broadcast team here in Bethany, I'm John Hale, reminding you to keep it right here on SNU Athletics for more SNU sports. The SNU football team will be at home against Arkansas Tech, and we'll be here to bring that to you. Be sure to tune in on Saturday here on SNU Athletics Crimson Storm, and as always, keep those bolts up. Have a great night.